Right guys, and welcome to the next roster video, and you guys would have seen hopefully the BFW Raw roster video a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, I don't know. I'll put a link in the pinned comment if you guys want to go see it if you haven't already. But today is Smackdown, and I'm just going to be showing you the roster. Just like the last video, going to be exactly the same layout. We're going to start with the jobbers, go up to the lower card, the mid card, the higher card, then the champions. Going to explain some of the storylines and all what they're into, some people who are missing and why they're not here in this video with the figures, as well as what was I going to say? I forgot. I tried to do this in one take. I've completely forgot. But yeah, I've literally just finished filming the Raw roster video. It's actually rendering right now to upload for tonight, hopefully. The time of recording this anyway. But that's enough waffling. The last video did it overran and then it cut and made another video, so I have to render it together, and that's going to take a few hours. So that's annoying. So I'm going to try to do this under 30 minutes. So if it's a bit rushed, I'm sorry. But 30 minutes should be enough time anyway. I actually think SmackDown is a lot bigger than Raw in terms of talent and people that we have. But I would say there's a lot more like jobbers and lower carders than Raw. So yeah, at the end of the video, be sure to let me know which roster you prefer and who you want to see have success on SmackDown. So yeah, let's start off with the jobbers. But first of all, this guy isn't really a jobber, but I don't really know if I'm going to be using him from now on. It is Austin Theory. Obviously, this custom isn't great, and you guys don't have to tell me again. All right, I get it. I did have to tone the beard, and he got kicked. He got kicked out of MVP's like manager role. MVP found a new client because Austin Theory was letting him down. Underperforming in the casino ladder match after MVP got him that shot. And then Austin Theory got an Intercontinental Championship shot after SummerSlam and lost in a few seconds, which is where MVP turned on him with his new client, which we'll get into. But yeah, obviously there's like in real life allegations against Austin Theory, so I don't even know if he's signed or just kind of suspended, because I don't really know what he's been up to, and I don't really want to start using them and then something really bad comes out. Just like Dream, as you can see, Velveteen Dream was not in the other video because he is on Raw effectively, but I don't really plan on using him anytime soon because he is one messed up guy. But I'm sure there's loads of people on this roster who are messed up that just haven't came out yet. That's the problem with wrestling. You don't know who is messed up or whatever. But you know what? You just have to go with it and see what happens, I guess. So yeah, up next we have Big Red Rowan. And no, the Bludgeon Brothers have not ever been in BFW. I don't think so. I think I had these figures for years and then didn't decide to use them. But Rowan is kind of a single star, and this is what he's been wearing. I think he was last seen at WrestleMania in the Casino Battle Royale, where he eliminated a few people, but was then eliminated by his former Wyatt family brethren, Luke Harper, which I may as well show now. Luke Harper right here. He's not really a jobber. Definitely would like to use him more because he's pretty fantastic. But he did lose to Lars Sullivan recently. Was it a tables match? I can't remember. But yeah, he did lose to Lars Sullivan recently. But yeah, Luke Harper / Brody Lee, definitely someone I would love to use more in the future. But you know, got to put over Lars. Now we'll get into some jobbers. And probably the top jobber is Kurt Hawkins right here. Kurt Hawkins does not really do much. He's just there to lose. And yeah, he's on a losing streak. I don't think he's ever won a match. I think he faced Cesaro at one point, Keith Lee. I'm trying to remember who he faced recently. I don't know. He might have been in the Battle Royal. I know he was in the Royal Rumble and he got destroyed by Ronda Rousey when she debuted, who was obviously on Raw now. Up next we have, let's just go with Elias, who has not done much, but he was in the SmackDown Tag Team Gauntlet with his guitar playing friend, the Honky Tonk Man, who I don't have a figure of. That was just a one-off legend appearance. Elias needed a tag team partner, and it did not work out well because they were quickly eliminated by FTR and then getting hit with their own guitars. So yeah, Elias not on a great run, but I'm not really a fan of Elias, to be honest. I just thought that would be a pretty cool tag team to enter into the match. Up next we have there's loads of jobbers on this who you would class as jobbers or lower carders, but they could easily be in the mid card or higher card. Here we have Drew Gulak. Was last seen in the Cruiserweight Classic, got to the semi-finals, but since then has not really been seen. Drew Gulak, definitely someone I would love to use. Maybe if we get an updated Elite. But yeah, he's another cruiserweight I would love to use in the cruiserweight kind of like matches I have. But there's just so many to use, as you guys will see in a moment. Just like this guy, another very talented cruiserweight who got to the quarterfinals of the Cruiserweight Classic this year. Akira Tazawa, great figure as well. Yeah, just another solid cruiserweight. In BFW, a lot of people think it's a cruiserweight division where only the cruiserweights can compete for the title. But if you classify as a cruiserweight, you can compete for the cruiserweight title, like Roderick Strong is. He's the current champion. Then you've got people like Daniel Bryan, who a lot of people didn't like, who was competing for the cruiserweight title. But the cruiserweight title is probably pretty important in BFW. Because Neville had that really long reign, and then Ricochet, he took it off, and then Roderick Strong won it. So yeah, it's a pretty it's a belt with a lot of prestige. Let's just say that. Here we have a new signee to SmackDown. We have Cedric Alexander. Was obviously in a tag team with Umaga at WrestleMania, where they won the Raw Tag Team titles and then lost them to the Young Bucks. And Umaga hasn't been seen since. Neither has Cedric, I don't think. I think I almost had him answer Apollo's Open Challenge at one point. But maybe in the future he'll get a title shot. Maybe Umaga will return, and we'll see the return of Spike and Soul. Did you guys actually like Spike and Soul? I don't know. I think it was a pretty cool tag team, but Umaga's with that new Royal Rumble Umaga rally. Hopefully they fix the bloody feet, and it'll be a sick red attire. That would be awesome from the Rumble if you like 2008 or something. Here we have Big Show, who recently lost after SummerSlam against Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan been on a tear recently. Lars pretty much no-sold the WMD, and just laid out Big Show after the match with a powerbomb before someone came to save Big Show, which we'll get into. Here we have Lindsay Dorado, who hasn't done too much, but he was in the Casino Battle Royale at WrestleMania. I think he was actually the first eliminated by Eric Rowan, and then he was in the Cruiserweight Classic, but I think he got eliminated. It might have been by Grand Metalik, maybe, I'm not too sure. But yeah, no Lucha House Party in this Fed, no crappy Lucha House Party. These guys are all single stars. Doesn't mean they can't be friends though. I could call them something else if I wanted them to team up. And here we have Kalisto. Again, I think he was out in the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic, but it's Kalisto. He's just Kalisto, ain't he really? SmackDown's definitely the land for the land of opportunity. I'm not gonna say that. It's definitely the land for the cruiserweights and the smaller guys to get a shot. There's also some pretty big guys, just like this fella, Sheamus. And this is a pretty nice fix-up. I really do like this Sheamus fix-up. Sheamus recently lost to Luke Harper as well a few months ago, which led to the Lars Sullivan Harper match. But yeah, Sheamus honestly is very underrated as a wrestler, I think, and it's so fun to pose. But again, just look how stacked this is already. This is why I have two brands, because there's so much talent to use. If I only had one brand and 4 titles, 5 titles, I would not be able to use all these guys, especially with AEW figures coming out and New Japan ones maybe in the future. Then there's custom figures to be used. It's just a right mess, but it's awesome. Here we have Matt Hardy, who had a mini feud with Lars after getting moved over to SmackDown, but kind of got destroyed instantly and hasn't really been seen since. Matt Hardy right there. So the singles Hardy Boys runs aren't going too great. Jeff's definitely doing a lot better, but Matt not so much. Here we have Samoa Joe, who recently moved over to SmackDown repping the blue. And Samoa Joe obviously very embarrassed after losing to Ronda Rousey, only because she got a cheap knee shot. So that's his excuse. Anyone can get a cheap knee shot. But Samoa Joe, if he had a better figure, he would have been world champ by now. It's his figure letting him down. Let's just say that, because it's so horrible to use. But maybe I'll get used to it. Here's another guy who I've been wanting to use for years, and it is Matt Sydal / Evan Bourne, but known as Matt Sydal in BFW. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think Akira Tazawa knocked him off in the first round. And but Evan Bourne, this is a really nice figure as well. I just said Evan Bourne, I mean Matt Sydal. Obviously another great talent, just like Cedric, like Akira. But there's too many to use. But maybe he'll get a shot. I think he was in the Rumble match. He had a pretty good show in there. He had a one-on-one versus Ricochet during the match. A lot of flippy whippy moves. He hasn't really done much since then. Next we have a tag team. We have Hurricane. But yeah, Hurricane is a new tag team kinda. They debuted at SummerSlam after Hurricane tried to recruit Kane a few months ago, but they got eliminated by FTR, and Kane was very pissed at this, as he just then proceeded to destroy FTR and cost them the match. So we could potentially see a feud between those. I was going to do FTR versus Hurricane at Vengeance, but I honestly didn't want to put too many matches on the card, because I really want to focus on the 5 main ones, which we'll get into once we get to those guys. So yeah, that's it for Hurricane. Up next we have kind of a faction, but you know, they're all kind of like trying to do their own thing. We have the faction of American Alpha, which is these 4 guys, and I know they haven't really been showcased as a 4-man faction. But yeah, we have Kurt Angle, who's kind of managing these guys. Shelton Benjamin has been with them. Shelton Benjamin was Raw Tag Team Champion with these guys. But yeah, as you can see, I've kind of got hoodies on Angle and Gable, because I think Angle managing Chad Gable could be gold in real life, and I may need to do that. Like Kurt Angle bringing up the young Chad Gable, and Chad Gable is another fantastic wrestler, one of the most underrated wrestlers on the world by far. Should have been Kurt Angle's son, but yeah, there we have Kurt Angle. Sorry, Shelton and Jordan, we don't have enough hoodies to go around for you. Let's just call these guys Team Angle, alright? That's probably better than American Alpha. Here we got Team Angle right here. Former Raw Tag Team Champions. Were they SmackDown Tag Team Champions? I don't know. Remember in the last video when I said I'd write stuff down? I didn't. I just decided to film this really quick. And then we have the last team out of this box is the New Day. And Xavier Woods was injured by FTR at Backlash, because as you guys know, the New Day had that winner takes all match scheduled against the Undisputed Era at Backlash. Was it Backlash? I think it was Backlash. I said Backlash a lot. But yeah, FTR took them out, and then they stomped on Xavier's knee with a chair and took him out. And the New Day really wanted revenge on FTR. That's why they ended second in the gauntlet match and took it to FTR. And they actually managed to get the pin on FTR with an assist from Kane. But were then eliminated by, was it the Lucha Bros, I believe, who then went on to win, which we'll get into. So yeah, New Day, really nice figures as well. First ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They won it back at Survivor Series 2017 against the Wyatt family in the Fed. Here we have Angel Gaza, and yeah, he just came off a match against Aleister Black after BFW Smackdown after SummerSlam. Well, no, it was just a random match. I mean, it wasn't after SummerSlam. Well, it was, but it wasn't on that show. Yeah, it was just a random match. Black managed to pick up the win, but Gaza definitely put in a shift. He was one of the mystery members of the Casino Ladder match, and almost went to win before Pete Dunne knocked him down. His own cockiness got to him. I should say that. Now on to the next bin. Here we have Gran Metalik, King of the Ropes, who put on one of the matches of the night against Roderick Strong for the Cruiserweight title at SummerSlam, but just came up short. Very unlucky. The winner of the Cruiserweight Classic, Gran Metalik. Up next we have, let's go with this big fella. We have Lars Sullivan. Yeah, Lars been on a tear recently, taking out Luke Harper, taking out Big Show, and yeah, he's got a new opponent who was recently drafted to SmackDown to claim his yard. You guys probably know who it is. May as well do it to him now. It is Roman Reigns, and obviously these guys are going to collide. If you saw the match card or you've been following on Instagram, these guys are going to collide in a last man standing match at Vengeance. Yeah, Big Dog versus the Freak. No! Don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. Oh, I saved it. Saved it. Right, we're good. We're good. Lars, it's your fault. This big light is in the way. There we go. Alright, up next we have We have Drake Maverick and Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate, a new signee to Smackdown, and has been managed by the newly signed overall to the company, Drake Maverick, who's trying to teach the young Tyler Bate his ways. And Tyler Bate has a scheduled cruiserweight title match at Vengeance against Roderick Strong. Here we have MVP, who obviously, as I mentioned before, kicked out Austin Theory out of his kind of faction thing, or from under his manager role, and now he's managing the almighty Bobby Lashley, who destroyed Austin Theory in seconds. And yeah, Bobby Lashley then got challenged by Matt Riddle for the Intercontinental Championship, because Riddle claimed he beat Austin Theory faster, and then Lashley was like, "Yeah, I want a match," something like that. Go read the promo if you want to understand it more. Yeah, pretty cool. Just had to answer a text. Yeah, Lashley right there. That's a pretty. I don't think I said that's the Royal Rumble Elite. I got it like months ago. I sold my Elite 69 because I definitely prefer this look. Here we have Trevor Lee, another great wrestler I would love to use. To be honest, I hate Trevor Lee on NXT. I hate the whole, I don't know, the southern shouting all the time. That really annoys me. I don't know. I just hate that accent. The over exaggerated one he's doing. But maybe he's a great wrestler at the end of the day. And he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think he knocked off Kalisto in the first round. He might have been eliminated by Mustafa Ali or Grand Metalik, one or the other. But yeah, Trevor Lee, another guy I'd like to use more. I feel like I say that about everyone. And a new tag team signee is Heavy Machinery. And yeah, these guys debuted in the SmackDown Tag Team Gauntlet match, but it took 5 teams to eliminate Otis or something. They all just piled up on him. And they did come out with Mandy Rose, who would later betray them on SmackDown. Mandy Rose did betray Otis, which I'll show you in a moment. And she sided with... Just look at this. 1 sec. She low-blowed Otis, and Tyler Breeze hit the beauty shot, picked up the win, and yeah, Prince Pretty stole the girl from Otis. So yeah, Otis's beautiful peach. Stupid Otis. No, don't fall. Right. Oh, I just heard post. That's a good sound. Yeah, there's Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, another fantastic performer, especially in his Prince Pretty run. I kind of wish he was still running with it in WWE, even though Breeze and Go are pretty cool. But I still think Prince Pretty is better than all of it. So yeah, that's why he's back like that. Up next we have Rey Mysterio, who is definitely a guy I want to do loads of fun matches with, but it's just finding the right place on the card. I know he could wrestle in the Cruiserweight division. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think Angel Gaza knocked him off in the first round. But yeah, Rey Mysterio obviously one of the best of all time. Especially with his cool elite figures, which are so fun to pose. Alright, we're almost at 20 minutes. I think I've only got a few left. Here we have Aleister Black, who was drafted over to SmackDown after WrestleMania, after losing to Pac. Obviously, he was world champion earlier this year, but lost it to Kenny Omega thanks to Pac. No thanks to Pac, I should say. And yeah, he knocked off Darby Allen in an epic Extreme Rules match at Backlash. Was then the first entrant in the Casino ladder match, but did not win that. And then he just knocked off Angel Gaza. So what is the future of Aleister Black? Who knows? Ooh, spooky. Can't believe they changed his bloody entrance music in real life, man. That is just a joke. I know the whole CFO thing, but come on, it's too good. But yeah, here is Darby Allen, who, as I say, lost to Aleister Black, but has definitely had some impressive showings over the past few weeks. He was in the Casino ladder match also. Darby Allen could easily be a challenger for the Cruiserweight title eventually, later down the line. Just this. And yeah, he just had an epic match against Andrade on SmackDown over on my Instagram. So go check out that match if you want. I really wish I could be bothered to upload highlights of Instagram matches I have. I feel like that would be a lot better. If you guys wanted me to do that, be sure to let me know. Do you want highlights of Instagram matches uploaded? But I don't know, they'll probably be a few minutes long. It's just so you could just go on Instagram and check it out. So I don't know. Yeah, speaking of Andrade, here he is, Mr. Money in the Bank. Won it earlier this year. at WrestleMania. And he tried to cash in at Backlash, but was deceived by Orton. And Orton took him out before he could cash in. And then at SummerSlam, he claimed he's going to wait for all the Orton Undisputed Era stuff to blow over. And then he's going to use it smartly. And then he knocked off Darby Allen and hired Zelina Vega as his manager. Business manager, is that what it's called? I think so. So Zelina does all the talking. Let's do these guys. We have another new tag team who had a very impressive show the other week. We have Jurassic Express. I almost said Jungle Express, but that's the Disneyland ride. Jurassic Express did manage to roll up FTR in the three-way #1 contendership match. But DIY managed to just put Jungle Boy away for the win. But very impressive showing in their first debut match. But yeah, they have signed Smackdown contracts. So let me know if you guys want to see them in the future challenge for the tag titles again. If they earn a shot, of course. And here we have the team that will be challenging the Lucha Bros at, is it Vengeance? I don't know why I keep forgetting. Honestly, I think I've got ADHD or something. Not really. But yeah, here's Johnny Gargano and Ciampa right here. DIY, of course, and they won the #1 contendership match against Jurassic Express and FTR, and will challenge the Lucha Bros. But Gargano just coming off a huge Intercontinental Championship loss at SummerSlam. No thanks to Ciampa, who tried to help. Gargano said go away, he wants to win on his own. Ciampa just trying to be a good friend, but it cost Gargano in the end. And then Gargano's like, you know what, Ciampa, you were gone for ages, I forgot what it's like to wrestle as a team. So they come together to fight as a team one last time. And they managed to in that triple threat match. But at the end of the match, Lucha Bros did come out. Ciampa refused to shake the hand. Gargano did. Ciampa just ran out the ring to just head away. And then the Lucha Bros, they didn't like that, so they made Ciampa suffer by taking Gargano down and like snapping his arm back with the the sacrifice move. Gargano got his arm pretty beat up there, and Ciampa will feel a lot of guilt on that. Pretty interesting if you ask me. And here we have the final set. This is a big one here. Here we have the Undisputed Era. And obviously Adam Cole has not been seen in ages because Orton took him out at Backlash with a hell of a punt, kicked his head right off. And Adam Cole has not been seen since. Was forced to vacate his title after holding it since last year's Survivor Series where he beat Nakamura for it. And then Orton proceeded to take out Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish once Cole vacated the title to Daniel Bryan, because Orton knew that Bryan was the weak link, and Adam Cole would be stupid enough to do that, to put his faith in Bryan. And Orton was right when he defeated Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam to become champion. I'm sure Adam Cole will be very mad at Daniel Bryan. But Daniel Bryan does have his rematch in a straight 1v1 wrestling match at Vengeance, because Orton won an ambulance match, didn't have to pin Bryan, but Bryan claims to be the superior wrestler. So yeah, that'll be the main event of Vengeance. Alright, up next we have, we're down to just the champions. Here we have FTR, who are teaming with Randy Orton. Obviously just to put down all these vanilla midgets with all the legs slapping and flips and stuff like that. FTR were unsuccessful in the gauntlet match. They did get 3 eliminations, which was the most out of anyone. But Kane's rage at the end, he was salty. He was a very angry demon. He took out FTR to cost them the match. Yeah, but FTR probably will be looking to get their titles back. Alright, now all we have left is the champions. I've managed to keep this under half hour, which I'm chuffed about. Here's Matt Riddle, the Intercontinental Champion. Been on a hell of a run this year. Won the Intercontinental Championship off Gargano at SummerSlam. They did have a match at Backlash, but Gargano, had Ciampa's help and managed to win. Riddle had a match at WrestleMania where he teamed with Keith Lee, took out Cesaro, Sheamus, and Heyman, along with Shane McMahon by his side, which is why Shane signed him to a contract to help him. yeah, Riddle now on his own path, and he's got to topple the Almighty at Vengeance. Let me know who you think will win that. And here we have the Cruiserweight Champion Roderick Strong, who won it at WrestleMania off Ricochet and Buddy Murphy in that awesome triple threat match. Managed to defeat Daniel Bryan, and was actually offered a place in the Undisputed Era because Bryan lost. But, you know, Roddy just rolled out the ring, but he was kind of thinking about it at the same time. And if you guys noticed in the Grand Metalik match, he was getting a lot more frustrated when Grand Metalik started kicking out, because, you know, he was like, I'm the best cruiserweight. Grand Metalik would not give up, but Roderick Strong did manage to win in the end, and he will be facing, I've completely forgot who he's facing, Tyler Bate at Vengeance for that title. And here we have the tag team champions with the beautiful newly designed belts. We have Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr., the Lucha Bros, the Lucha Brothers, who were the surprise entrance what am I trying to say? The Smackdown Tag Team Gauntlet match. And yeah, I don't think anyone expected to see that. I was going to do a whole video on just reviewing those. If you guys want me to review those figures in detail, you can, or you can go see close-ups on my Instagram at @ballofigs_UK. But yeah, the Lucha Bros, no one expected them to be tag team champions, and they've got to face DIY in their first defense. So that is a huge mountain to climb right there, if that even made sense. And finally, we have the guy on top of SmackDown right now, the Apex Predator, the Viper, the RKO out of nowhere, the Randy Orton, who did manage to beat Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, proved himself right, proved everyone else right. He hit a massive RKO. He got dropkicked off the ambulance into the ring. I think Bryan Orton might have been my favourite match I filmed this year because it was so cool using the ambulance. But they will obviously have a straight one-on-one wrestling match at Vengeance, which I can't wait to film also. But yeah, he managed to hit an RKO on Bryan as Bryan went for the diving headbutt. He did try for the punt, never managed to connect it, but he did win by throwing Bryan into the ambulance. So yeah, that is all for Orton. And here we have the general manager, Shane McMahon. So yeah, guys, that is all for SmackDown. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. I was going to do a video. Oh, I actually do need to go through some guys who you haven't seen. So, for example, the Street Profits, who were in the Gauntlet match, they have not officially been signed. That was just kind of a one-off. A lot like Honky Tonk Man, because I hated using them basics. Not gonna lie, but I'm sure when them elites come out, they will get fully signed. I'm just trying to look in my extras bin to see if there's anyone there who I haven't mentioned. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone I've missed. If there is, I'm sorry. I apologise. There's people like Fandango, who I know is not here, who I just don't have a figure of, who could come back at any point. But yeah, I don't think there's really anyone important. People like The Undertaker, he's just a legend. He can come back whenever he wants, but Drew McIntyre did destroy him. So, yeah. Then there's like Bray Wyatt, who disappeared at WrestleMania. But honestly, guys, The Fiend is absolutely dead to me. I do not like The Fiend at all in real life right now, so I don't expect to see The Fiend anytime soon. I know a lot of you do like The Fiend, but honestly, in a Fed, I just don't think it'll really work. I think it'll just come off a bit goofy. I know a lot of people do use The Fiend well, like Legendary Figs over on Instagram. He uses The Fiend pretty well. But I don't know. Maybe some cinematic matches could happen down the line if you guys see The Fiend. But yeah, besides that, guys, be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe. Let me know which roster you prefer, Raw or SmackDown. And I'll see you all in the next video.